Let's get things started. There we are. We are live in the building. Good evening, family. Happy Friday as always. Yes. Tapping in with y'all. That's going to tighten it on. All right, so what's going on, people? Welcome back to another Friday, man. So happy that everybody's here. We're going to give everybody a few seconds just to chime on in and tap on in. And while y'all getting ready to get on in, let me make sure that we are clear technical wise. And while I'm doing it, always enjoy some good old music from R&B recording artist Mr. Marquise Green himself. Indeed. Making sure everything is good to go here. Yes, looks like it. All right. Come on in, tap in. Let me know where you tapping in from, if you knew, because if you've been here for a while, then I'm pretty sure I already know where you tapping in from. So, indeed. That was something new. Never really realized the Rodecaster Pro does that. Hope y'all got y'all questions. Every time I say questions, I feel like I'm sounding like Elmer Fudd. Get your questions ready, right? Like, that's crazy to me. All right, so yes. Look like everything is good to go. We are officially here, all right. Man, yes. Good evening. Welcome to the Friday night Friends and Families Financial Fridays. So glad that you are here. I am back in office. It seems like I am switching up, right? Like every other week I'm in the office, then out on the football field. There is a game going on right now as we speak. So when I finish here, I'll be heading straight over here. But luckily, it's a local game. So by the time I get there, I'll probably get there during a halftime. Everybody will get me caught up on as to what is happening. But so far, man, we have been winning every game that we're playing, which is why this is continuing on. The last game was last week. We was there. It was so close. Like it was 20 seconds left, and we was up by like 1 point. And then we had a turnover on the ball. Not we, because I wasn't on the field, but, you know, my sons, they team had a turnover, and then they went down there with 30 seconds left. Now, a lot can be done in 30 seconds, but I guess the other team called it because the ref blew the whistle when they gave us the game. So, that was a good one, man. That was definitely a good game. And, again, nephew definitely says he appreciates all of you who gave him the encouragement because, of course, always replay it, show it to him, let him know who was showing their love. Tim, Uncle Vin, everybody was there. Zach, Donna, you know, all of y'all. He definitely said show y'all his love. So he out there on the field trying to do it again. But I told him tonight we're going to be in the office first. Then once we finish, run on over there, get it going, and be good. So now, what time is this? It's about 5 minutes in. We should be good. Let me go ahead, run the intro video, and then when we get back, we'll get busy. So let's do it. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, hey, welcome back, man. I'm so glad that you're joining me again. For those of you who may not know me, if this is your first time you saw this live notification, you just happened to click on it because you're bored at home on a Friday, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, your favorite uncle, cousin, owner of the Self-Employed Tax Company, owner of this YouTube channel, and simply here to help you become successfully self-employed. So glad that you stumbled across. If you're not new here, if you're returning as always, welcome, shout out. So glad that you returned and you are here. Real quick, checking in. Give me a second here. I'm still getting things together. All right, good. Everything is good. So tonight, probably honestly will not be before you long because I just wanted to complain a little bit, I guess, talking about unrealistic expectation or unrealistic outcomes. And the only reason I'm talking about unrealistic outcomes is because I got flagged by Facebook for saying that what I said was unrealistic. And it made me think like, man, very interesting. I was upset, right? I was like, unrealistic. Then I was like, you know what? That's a good thing. The enemy is trying to stop me from disseminating this information, which means that there is somebody out there who needs to hear it, who needs to receive it, who is going to get blessed. And so I always keep my head to the sky because I know it's going to happen. Things are going to make a way, right? But then if you found me, not found me, but if you follow me on Instagram, you would know, what was it? Wednesday morning, I went live, had a couple of young gentlemen come through the office, man, and we had a great conversation about starting a business, about business credit, expectations. Man, it was a great conversation. I wasn't expecting to be that long. I was on IG Live for at least 2 hours, probably my longest running IG Live in history, going for 2 hours talking to the young men. And we was talking about, like I said, a bunch of things. So definitely, oh man, the fam is checking in here. Zach, good to see you. Yes, time to start a great weekend. Shout out to you, man, because I'm hoping it is going to be a great one for you. Give me some good news, Zach. What's going on. Want to know everything is good. Big Tim is in the building from T-Town. What's popping? Right now, just me, player. Right now, just me. So good to see everybody checking in. Talking about the young men I happened to have a conversation with. Tim, I know you kind of caught it in on the back end, but it was just a very interesting conversation and setting the expectation of being a business owner. Right. And again, the reason I'm talking about unrealistic expectations is because of the message I received from Facebook, which I'm going to talk about a little later. But I just find it coincidental that tonight I'm talking about unrealistic expectation. I think yesterday I posted a reel to Facebook and TikTok because of the TikTok that I saw. There was a young man who was talking about how when entrepreneurs go on podcasts and what they say, wow, man, if you didn't see that reel, go check that out because it's amazing how all of these things tie into play. Like that reel, he was clowning. He was saying, when you wake up in the morning, start 3 LLCs, immediately go get your loan for $150 million, wait 15 days, buy NBCO. It was funny. But as much as that is an unrealistic expectation, there are many people who believe it to be true. Sadly. I mean, and I say that because the gentleman, or at least one of the gentlemen that was here on Wednesday, to whom I was having a conversation with, is currently dating one of my nieces, right? And when we first met, when she first introduced him to me, I was introduced as the business uncle, right? Like I'm the uncle that if you want to talk tax in the business, this is the uncle you want to talk to, I guess, because he's from down south, came to L.A. looking to get some opportunities, start a business. So she was like, yeah, you got to meet my uncle, and I love the fact that, my nieces view me as that way. So, of course, had a conversation with the man, threatening him a little bit because, that's what we as uncles do, right? You date my niece, bro, it's going to be one of them bad boy situations. But I think I met this man maybe a year or so ago. It was a long time ago. And he admitted it on the Instagram video when we first met. Our very first initial conversation around business, I told him, do not get an LLC, especially here in California. That was our very first conversation. Do not get an LLC. And we sat there and we talked for hours in depth about why, how it's really not beneficial, depending on what you're trying to do. Went through the whole spiel, right? Like y'all know it. I just did a whole myth bust thing on LLCs, and shout out to Tim T-Town Search for putting me up on game, for putting it into a playlist. So I did that. And when he came and sat down with me on Wednesday of this week, after all of that talking we did about not getting the LLC, he tells me I formed an LLC. And I'm like, okay, why? And I respect and appreciate his honesty and his transparency. And again, you can go back and you can look at the videos there. It's long. I don't expect too many people to sit there and watch 2 hours worth of conversation. But his whole reasoning is because it's what everybody is saying. It's killing me because it's an unrealistic expectation that's being put out there and people are buying into it. And I'm like, all right, so let me see if I'm wrong. You got the LLC. What has it done for you since you've had it? He said he's had it since August. I say, have you done anything with it? Answer is no. And I'm like, yeah, that's that unrealistic expectation. But due to social media, it's out there. And I'm thinking it has bled over and impacting us as genuine entrepreneurs based on what I ran into myself this week, right? So let's see here. I see some comments coming in. Tim said he watched most of it with us. That's cool. So Tim can vouch for me. Zach says he officially started the screen print this coming week. Wow. Congratulations. Shout out to you, Zach, for getting started. So he's publicly announced that he's getting started. So now we got to hold him accountable to make sure that he makes 100,000 in his first year. That's the goal. 100,000, doable. That's my goal for at least 10,000 people. Make 100,000 in your first year, right? That's my goal. So let me show y'all this, because I don't want to again be before you long, but let me show you what happened to me this week. Been doing everything that I say when we did the whole business mastery series, right? Pumping up the volume, increasing pricing, doing this, running ads, and pumping up the volume, y'all. I'm telling you, I'm starting to see growth. I'm starting to see changes, pumping up the value, getting a lot more recognition, a lot more engagement through my analytics. Not so much on YouTube, maybe because I still got a lot of things to work around on YouTube as far as just the stationary videos, not really worried about the lives, because the lives is for us, man. This is just our community. This is what we do. This is how we come together. This is how we network. But on the regular YouTube side, like as far as the ad revenue or whatnot, still playing around with that because it's not doing what I thought it'd do. But on social media, it's going up over there, man. I've had so much engagement. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I finally crossed the 2,000 follower mark, and I took a screenshot like, man, I finally reached 2,000 followers. Like I didn't think that was going to ever happen on Instagram, but I did. And that's because pump up the value. So I'm telling y'all, I'm not just talking. This stuff actually works. But getting back to the point of tonight, let me show y'all. So this week, I decided I was going to run some ads for my 5-day challenge, because I have a 5-day challenge that I'm trying to help people who want to start their business. All right, so this probably won't apply to y'all because y'all already have y'all businesses started. But for individuals who are looking to start their business and they know they want to do it without an LLC but don't know how, I said, all right, fine. I can show you how to do it in 5 days. No problem. So came up with that. Well, some of y'all seen the ad. I showed it to you in the Business Master. We was talking about regurgitation. I showed you the ad because I was using the language that my customers are using, or using the language that my ideal customer is using. They're not customers yet. So I'm like, fine, let me put the ad up here. Let me do it. Side note, geez, running Facebook ads is crazy. I think I spent like a week going down a rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to do Facebook ads, how to set up the business manager account, set up the ad campaign, the ad set, get the pixel. Now the pixel was the part that really, I'm like, what? Like, I don't code. I want to install this in the header, the whatever, and install plows. Oh my goodness. But I did it. So if y'all got questions about doing Facebook ads, I ain't no expert, but I can at least point you in the right direction. I didn't did enough to know what to do at this point. So got everything all set up. Push publish on the ad, and here's what I get from Facebook. Check this out. Y'all see that? Look at that right there. Just unrealistic outcomes policy. And I'm like, what do y'all mean my ad is unrealistic? And again, like I said, I think there's so much unrealistic information being put on social media that they had to put a policy in place to say, if it's unrealistic, we're not going to allow it to be advertised. Think about that. It's so much unrealistic information that a major advertising company had to develop a policy to say, we can't let you spread the lies. And they flagged me as that. And I'm like, well, why? What is it about my ad? So let me show y'all my ad. So first of all, let me show you this. This is what the policy details from Meta, from Facebook, right? The unrealistic outcome ads must not contain promises or suggestions of unrealistic outcomes specified below for health, weight loss, economic opportunity. Now, this is what I fall under here, at least from their perspective, economic opportunity, because I'm not talking health, I'm not talking weight loss. So I'm assuming this is why I was flagged. But if we scroll down and we look, and it says, ads for economic opportunities, claims other than those identified specifically in this part are subject to policy or misinformation. And this includes, but not following to, claims of unrealistic results within specific timeframes. And I'm thinking that's the one that applies to me. Right? Because promoting exaggeration or deceptive claims, not me, I guess they could try to say maybe I'm, promoting exaggeration or deceptive claims, but nothing as far as legal action. I'm not trying to cure any incurable diseases, not trying to suppress somebody's sexual orientation or gender identity. So I'm going to assume the first two, claims of unrealistic results. But here's the thing, and y'all, be honest with me, be transparent. Y'all can help me. Cause like I said, if I'm wrong and I'm corrected, we all learn. Cause I was like, yep, okay, I can see that. Maybe you're right. But let me show you my ad, and y'all let me know if I am unrealistic in what I'm presenting. So here's the ad. On the left side, you're going to see the image that I was using, because it was a single image, one doing the carousel, one doing the video. And y'all have seen this, and this is the one I said I showed y'all when we was talking about regurgitation. And on the right side is the text. that's on the ad. Okay? Just look at it. Don't talk too bad about me because I ain't the greatest at copywriting, right? Maybe I have to hire Brilliance Technical Writing to help me on the copy side. But I simply say, here's a solution for a way to quit your job and follow your dreams. Not unrealistic there, at least I'm thinking, right? Learn how to live the dream lifestyle of a successful entrepreneur, make your first $100,000. Again, not too far-fetched for what I'm thinking. In the master class, I'll teach y'all to start a legitimate business without an LLC in only 5 days. And here is where I'm thinking they flagged me as being unrealistic, right? Because I said, I'm going to teach you how to start a legitimate business without an LLC in only 5 days. And then the checkpoints I believe are good, right? You'll learn, which business structures you should start with, how to get your EIN number for free, which is true, by the way. You can get your EIN number for free. Like, don't ever pay nobody. And I show people how to do it. How to set up the business bank account. You need a business bank account, right? I'm gonna show you what documents you need to set up the business bank account. Prepare your finances so your hustle is organized. Really, that's one of the biggest issues that I see as an entrepreneur, especially when people pay to have a conversation. Like, if you want to have a consultation, if you want me to coaching, the biggest part of our conversation is organizing their hustle. So I'm going to show you how to do that, right? Which licenses to apply for and how to get them, how to target the clients that actually want to give you money. Like that's the whole point. Facebook is doing that. They help you target people, right? They have targets. You can set specific audiences. So nothing unrealistic there, but maybe here it is. How to make your first 100,000. I don't get that. And then there's more. And then at the point I have like a little disclaimer. Yeah, okay, this is my goal. Whoa. I don't think that's unrealistic. If there is something unrealistic about what I've said, let's have a discussion about it. Let me know. Because what's unrealistic about how to start a business in 5 days, right? What's unrealistic about obtaining $100,000 your first year in business? Getting to your first, if you've never made $100,000 before in your life, what's unrealistic about getting to your first 100,000? It's doable. You got people that are making $100,000 a month. Now, granted, they didn't do it in 5 days. It took a while, but to get started, or, now that I said it out loud, maybe that's what they're thinking. I mean, is my wording sounding like I'm saying I'm going to teach you how to get 100,000 in 5 days? Maybe this is AI. They're putting 5 days and 100,000. They're just seeing these words together in this advertising, so they consider it unrealistic. But I don't think that's at all an unrealistic expectation. Why? Because it's doable. Why? Because I've done it. So I'm not considering it unrealistic at all. So I did. They have an option to have somebody in Facebook review it. So I did submit it for review. I didn't change anything, didn't change any text because I don't see where it's unrealistic. But again, y'all let me know. Is it unrealistic? Am I missing something, right? Tim said, I still don't have my pixel set up. But you have a run goals every day, spend 10 hours a day promoting. So tell me about that, Tim, without a pixel. Now, I heard you can. That was going down that rabbit hole. I understand that you can still run an ad without a pixel, but it's just best to run the pixel so you'll have data available to you, which is part of what we talked about in the masterclass, running the numbers, knowing which numbers to run. All right, so without the pixel, you won't know the conversion event. Like, you won't know if people are clicking on something per se. So I use ClickFunnels, and with ClickFunnels, you have the opt-in, because all of this is obviously a digital thing, right? Like with Tim, yours is physical location. So I know you use a lot of geo-tracking information. You're probably targeting people within, 15, 25 miles of the business, targeting people that have specific type of cars, right? Things like that. So mine is digital. So it's a little bit online. So I'm set up my Pixel to track three things, basically. Page views. So when they first land on the page, because that lets me know at least that the ad is working, at least the ad is grabbing attention. They're at least clicking the link to land on the page. That at least I know that. It's also tracking leads. Yes, leads, which was something I had to really figure out. One thing, just for people who may be advertising on Facebook, you may or may not know, the thing or the key to setting up your Pixel is to make sure that you install it on the page after whatever it is you're tracking, which makes sense. Once I went down a rabbit hole and understood it, it makes perfect sense for me to. So, for example, once they click on the sign up button and they submit, the page that shows up after that is where I installed the Pixel for the lead, because it says that, well, if they land on this page, then their lead, because they went through this process. And I'm like, oh, duh, right? Light bulb went off in my head. That clicked in. So that's definitely one thing that I picked up. But yeah, but the Pixel, woo, it was crazy. Some companies have it as to where they make it easy. Like, I'll admit, I had to watch a few videos, but ClickFunnels has a real easy way for you to set up your Pixel for whatever domain you're trying to do using Meta's or Facebook conversion API. Boy, I promise you, reading that stuff, you got to have a degree in geek reading these instructions. But I promise you, I know it now. So that was easy. And we'll see. Since that ad is currently under review, because apparently I stated something that was unrealistic, I did another ad, but this one is a video. I said, well, let me test the video ad. I see a lot of people doing videos. Let me test the video ad, put it out there, went down to my favorite place on the beach, recorded a video, put it out there. I actually did another video on a grave site. That's going to be interesting. I want to see how people react to me doing a video in a grave site. Because the message on that one was simply saying, too many people die before they realize their dreams. Don't let that happen to you. So that was the message sitting there at the grave site. So, expectations, okay? Let's see. T-Town said, Tim, let me grab this real quick. Hold on, Tim. Let me see what it is you're saying. Oh, okay, Tim, you got the Jetpack plug-in. I think I got Jetpack, so that's through WordPress, which is cool. I think 90% of websites out there now are WordPress. Badu said pin names around town and age group, but videos do get better. Okay, so that's cool. So maybe I think all my ads need to be videos. I'm gonna check that out and see about that. Mr. Mitchell asked a question. Do I know about LOC in California? What we talking? Is that line of credit we talking about in California, or are we talking about the Lokes, like the dark glasses we used to wear back in the 80s? Which LOCs we talking about? Because if we talking about the line of credit specifically in California, I haven't heard of anything specifically in California. But if we talking about something else, by all means, please let me know. Okay. You know what? Hold on, fam. Speaking of unrealistic expectations, oh man, I can give a little project for y'all this weekend. There is, and put this on the screen. There is this docuseries that you must watch on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, get it just for purposes of watching this mini docuseries called Pepsi, Where Is My Jet? All right. Definitely take a screenshot of this, write it down, but I want y'all to watch this miniseries. And the reason I want y'all to watch that miniseries, we talk about Unrealistic Expectations. Now, I just happened to stumble across this docuseries yesterday. Like, in all honesty, yesterday. And it took hold of me. Okay? To the point where now I'm thinking like, man, I think I'm about to write off my Netflix subscription because, well, I'm research, right? I'm using Netflix's research. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna write off 100% of my Netflix subscription because I have a family plan, right? And I pay a little extra so we can have it across multiple TVs. And not all of my children are doing research. So I'm going to write off a portion of my Netflix subscription and probably anything else that I'll watch documentaries on, which is also Hulu and everything else, especially since they're increasing their prices. I might as well take advantage of it. But something here and there, just take that as a tax tip. If you have your cable and your internet service and you're using it to watch documentaries and research and you use that as content or whatever else to make money, go ahead and take a portion of it as a write-off. Not all of it. Take a portion, maybe 20%. Be on the safe side. Keep pushing. All right. But anyway, this docuseries here, Pepsi Where's My Jet? And the reason I want y'all to watch this is because it really gives some true gems about business. Now, I don't want to spoil it for you because I want you to watch it, but I do have to tell you what it's about. So back in, let me get my notes, man, because I was taking notes. I probably let me tell you, first of all, let me back up. I went home yesterday for lunch. All right, that's one of the beautiful things. I get to go home for lunch. So I went home for lunch. It was an early day for my son. He got out of school early. And we sitting there eating lunch together, talking. And I usually put on something. I'm scrolling through Netflix. I'm going to take a break for a minute while my food is heating up. I see, Pepsi Where's My Jet? I'm like, let me see what this is about. I press play just so I can watch a few minutes to see if I'm going to like it or not. And end up watching the whole thing. It's a 4-part miniseries, 4 hours each. So I end up watching the whole entire thing. Didn't come back to work. I didn't. I left for lunch, said I was going to come back, do some more work. I didn't. I didn't come back. That thing had me, I was like, I might as well stay home. I didn't spend 4 hours here watching this docuseries because it was just that good. The first one hooked me. The very first episode, the very first 15 minutes of the episode hooked me because it's a story about David versus Goliath, even though that's kind of bad because in this situation, Goliath won. But the things that led up to it, right? The little guy versus corporate America and the mentality it took to take on the giant, right? The fact that the giant almost conceded to the little guy, right? But because it had a lot more, obviously, legal power and authority and influence, that it was able to succeed and win. But back in the 90s, I'm surprised I don't remember this, but I guess it was a big thing back in the 90s. Gentleman by the name of John Leonard. At the time when this happened, he was in his 20s, college student. And for those of us who are old enough to remember, there was a war going on between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They called it the Coke Wars. And it wasn't the Cocaine Wars that we know. No, this was the soda Coke Wars. Coke versus Pepsi. And they did an ad. Pepsi did an ad. And this is why I said you got to watch it with a business mind, right? Like you have to pay attention to what mistakes were made from the big corporate, because if they making big mistakes, they cost them that much. We got to be careful of the mistakes we make as business. They cost us a whole lot. So pay attention to the mistakes that was made by them. Pay attention to the process that the little guy did to be able to stand up to the corporate giant, because that was the part that had me all excited. Like, wow, if we do X, Y, and Z in business, then it's possible we can have these results, right? So you got to watch that. But back then, when they was doing the whole Coke wars, the whole idea, Coke had market domination because they were the first Coke out there, Coca-Cola company. Pepsi came in, took 40% market share, right? We all know that story. Coke never gave it back. So Coke's still trying to hold on to the threshold, but Pepsi had creative advertisement. That's another thing I want y'all to pay attention to. Pay attention to the idea and the concepts of how they came up with their ads that made Pepsi as relevant, as dominant as they are today. Look at the ads. One of the dudes who created the ad is in there talking about the creative process. Pay attention to that, because if we look at the ads, a lot of things that they did back in the 90s, we are seeing people talk about right now today as the secret thing to do. And it was like, man, they was doing that back then. Like, wow. So nothing's new. Just may not be known to us. So pay attention to what they're doing, because I saw some things I'm definitely going to implement. I'm definitely going to try. Want y'all to do the same. Then in this commercial, Pepsi was offering, or they had like box tops. Y'all know, like if y'all got kids, y'all ever collect the box tops and give it to the school so they can get something. So you would buy certain brands and the box top would be worth 10 points. And if you get 100 points, you get this and get that, right? Pepsi was doing the same thing. They was offering points. You get so many points, you get swag. You get merch, right? Collect 100 Pepsi points and you'll get some sunglasses. You'll get whatever. So they did an ad promoting this. And in the ad, they promoted a jet, an actual military jet. And they said, if you can come up with 7 million Pepsi points, you can own this jet, right? And this John Leonard was like, all right, I'm going for the jet. And this is the part that really got me excited about watching this. The process he went through to figure out how to get 7 million Pepsi points. That was the first thing that got me hooked, because that was a business lesson in itself, right? He really went down. One, he saw an opportunity. He did the research. That's what I love. The first thing they called me, he saw the opportunity. He looked up the jet, the military jet. It was a hell something jet. And he said the jet itself, by itself, is worth $35 million just for the jet. He said, all I need is 7 million Pepsi points to get the jet, right? The jet is worth $35 million. Pepsi said if I give them 7 million points, they'll give it for me. Now, of course, the intent of the ad, it was a joke, whatever. Ain't nobody really, Pepsi ain't really about to get nobody a military jet. But the process he went through, one, he saw the opportunity. He's like, man, if I can pay 7 million to get something that's worth 35 million, and I'm gonna use it for all of these things, right? To rent out in movies. Like, he had a real plan. I was like, that's amazing. That's what hooked me. I said, let me see what else is about to happen in this docuseries. But this happened in the first episode. So one, he saw an opportunity. Then he set a goal to get it. And this is what I want us to really follow. Like, pay attention to, one, what opportunities out there that exist. Look for them. Search for the opportunity. Because if it's there, take it. Remember, POOR, P-O-O-R, I talked about this Wednesday, stands for passing over opportunities regularly. We don't want to be that no more, all right? So he found the opportunity, set the goal, but then once he set the goal, he started asking the questions. And that's the part that I was loving, because me and my son, my youngest son, Christopher, we sitting there and we eating, and I'm like, is you paying attention to this? Now I know he, just turned 12. He like, yeah, whatever. I said, no, really look at this, son. I want you to pay attention to this. Like, look at what he's doing. He is literally on Post-it notes asking questions. One, what is it going to take for me to acquire 7 million points? And then he did my favorite thing. He started to run the numbers, right? That's I was like, ooh, that's my boy. He running them numbers. And that's, of course, that's probably why I stuck around, because it got me all excited. Ran the numbers. You like, man, if each Pepsi can or each 6-pack is going to cost this much, it's going to give you this many points, all this other stuff. And he really started to put it down and came up with an actual plan. Then he took it to an investor. I try not to spoil the movie, but y'all got to go watch this series. So he took it to this dude who has some money. And the dude was like, I'm assuming he thought that the kid was joking because he's only 20, but they knew each other because they used to climb mountains together. And so he was like, all right, man, present me with a plan. So he went back. That's where he started asking the question, developed a plan. He actually called the Pentagon, spoke to the person in the Pentagon, and asked them, is it legal for a civilian to own a military jet? And they said, yeah. As long as it's unarmed, as long as there's no missiles and ammunition on it, it's possible if you can afford it. Cool. I was like, wow, it's possible to do that kind of thing, because who would think to call the actual Pentagon? Like, I wouldn't Google. Well, I guess they didn't have Google back in the 90s, but I'm saying it's amazing the things that can do once we really get to that mindset. And then, so long story short, he convinces this investor. The investor says, fine, I'll give you the money. So he was like, first of all, I love the questions that the investor asks, and this is what I want y'all to really look at it from that perspective, is because you want to ask yourself specific questions as it pertains to your business, because when you're seeking investment, they're going to want to know. One of the questions, he was like, all right, well, what if this don't work? Or where are we going to keep the Pepsis? And this is why I say he ran the numbers. He understood just how much space each 6-pack took up as far as cubic volumes, and measured how many warehouses he would need to store X amount of volumes of 6-packs and Pepsis. He estimated how many employees he would have to hire to go through and cut the little points off the can. Like, he had it down packed, ready to go to the dollar. This is how much money we gonna need for hiring people at this amount, for 40 hours a week, for this warehouse, for the logistics, for the trucks, for everything. That level of detail is what I loved about it. It was an unrealistic expectation? Probably. Like, again, a jet? Maybe not. But anyway, continuing on with it, they get to a certain point, found out something else. They got the points. Let's just say they got the points, mailed in the form to Pepsi, got the Pepsi. Pepsi was like, yeah, right, whatever. Pepsi realized their mistake, called in their legal team. Their legal team was like, oh, snap, we screwed up. Went through a whole bunch of other processes. I'm going to stop right there, because I want to tell you, you got to go see it. You just got to go look at it. If you don't have Netflix, borrow somebody's password and log in, look at it, put it back on the screen. Here it is again. Pepsi, where is my jet? All right? Definitely got to go watch that and take notes like I did. Pay attention to the mindset of the young entrepreneur. I don't even think he was trying to start a business. I just think he was like, yo, can I do this? And I think that's the thing that really got me the most. He was like, can I do it? He said, yes, he can. He wrote out a plan to say, if I do it, I have to do it this way. I have to do it. This is what I need. Everything. And it seemed impossible until it was possible. And that's the beauty of it. It seemed impossible until it was possible, because, like Pepsi admitted, they was like, man, millions of people saw that ad. Millions of people saw that ad, but one person decided to pursue it. Only out of 1 million people, one person thought it was possible. And that one person, because he thought it was possible, he changed a lot when it comes to contract law. That case is now taught in law schools. That's just how interesting it was. But the process of somebody sitting there watching the TV, getting an idea, going through the motions, asking the questions, running the numbers. Because if you've ever watched me talk about a business plan, that's what I say a business plan is. A business plan is simply a Q&A. It is a set of questions and answers. It is not this big encyclopedia type thing. It's not this big book of graphs and numbers. It is simply a Q&A. You ask a question, you answer it, that's the plan. Simple as that. Then he ran the numbers so we can understand what's going to be needed to put this in action. And from there, something amazing happened. Absolutely something amazing happened. Man. So let's see. That's what I want with how much time. I got a few minutes. So watch that movie, and I want y'all to shoot me some messages, either DM me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever platform you follow me on, right? Shoot me a message after you watch that documentary, and I want to know what you got from it, right? Leave comments under this live right here. I'll leave this live up because we really ain't talking about nothing too special, just me complaining about Facebook and them rejecting me. Leave a comment. But go watch that docuseries, Pepsi, Where's My Jet, and let me know. Let me know, what did you get from it? Let me know what part of that are you going to use? What strategy? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't do it intentionally, but they dropped a few strategies from corporate that we can use as small businesses to help us grow. If you really paid attention to it, they dropped some huge strategies on what's needed to grow. Because think about it, Pepsi came behind Coca-Cola, so they had to go big to establish themselves. And while they was talking about that, they were literally dropping some gems on how Pepsi, the underdog, came to compete with the big boy Coca-Cola and win. So, and if we implement those strategies, man, I got excited. Like I told y'all, I had planned on coming back to work, but I was like, man, I might as well stay home. I'm good. Me and my son watching. I'm like, dude, when you see that, did you see what he did? I'm like, did you see that? Did you pay attention? It was subtle, but did you see it? And he was like, yeah. And there was a scene in there where there was an ultimatum given, and I was like, all right, I paused the show. I'm like, well, if that was you, what would you do? And he was like, well, I whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, proud moment. I was like, it's probably the smartest thing you said your whole life. And he's like, really? I guess I pissed him off because he got up and walked off at that point. But it was a proud father moment for that. I appreciated him saying that. But yeah, watch it, enjoy it, be good. Let's see. We got about 10 minutes left, so let me get to some questions. Let's see here. We have... Zach says, I'd love to do 100K, but my goal is to replace my current job that I can do. I'm happy to do that from there. Fair. Hey, you know what, Zach? That is a beautiful. Let me put this there, right? I'm going to say do 100K your first year, 12 months. It don't have to be between now and December, right? We ain't going to be ridiculous. But in 12 months, 100K. I'm challenging you within 12 months to make your first 100K. And unless, because you say you want to replace your current job, unless your current job is paying you more than 100K, then I get it, right? Definitely catch up to that income that your current job is paying you. But remember we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, right? Write down everything that you're spending money on right now today, currently. Don't it's like, oh, well, if I'm about to spend, money, let me upgrade my life a little bit. No. Write down everything that you're currently spending on and say, okay, my business needs to pay me at minimum this amount. Let's first get to that amount. Once we get to that amount, and then the business can be self-sustaining, let's grow. Let's do everything else, man. It's possible. It may not seem possible, but Zach, I'm rooting for you. I know you can do it. I want you to do it. As a matter of fact, what's today? November 18th, 2022. I'm going to say by November 18th, 2023, we're going to be there. We're going to be there. All right? Let's see. Who is this? We talking about Tim. Somebody post, break down these questions, post a YouTube video also. But that is his name, though. Check him out. Who we talking about, Tim? Let me know. I'll go check him out. Most definitely. Oh, that's cool. You said you can share the live on the community tab. I appreciate that. See, Tim gonna be our resident tech guy, right? Because Tim knows how to do some things. So I appreciate that. Tim, you show me how to do that so I can do it. I don't know nothing about this. I didn't even know YouTube had a community tab. Embarrassing as you know, what's for me, I'm gonna do this sound. That's me, right? Because I didn't pay attention to YouTube's community tab. That's something else for me to learn. That's another piece of engagement for me to get in on. So maybe I need to do that on YouTube to increase engagement. I appreciate you, Tim, for that one. For sure. Got the blueprint. All right. So somebody said he got the blueprint, done it, got questions. All right. Said you sent me a message on IG. I will double check it as soon as we are done here. But yeah, all right, cool. Make sure I got everything and everybody. All right. So, yes, we have our homework assigned. But you know what? Nobody said anything about was my ad unrealistic? That's all the way to say. Like, is it unrealistic to say you can start a business in 5 days and make your first 100K, right, within a year? Maybe I need to be specific about that a year. I don't know. I'm not quite sure there. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. He said he closed the line here, saying it says, so I guess Tim is giving us instructions on how to share. So that's going to be a call to action that I'll input. So now that I know it's possible, I'm going to have to update my calls to action to say that when I'm doing YouTube Lives, I'm going to go say, do what Tim do, close the live chat out, hit share at the top that says make a post, and it's there for 24 hours. Boom. So that's going to be our call to action every time that we get on the live. Okay? Cool. Appreciate that, Tim. You dope, man. So, fam, look, it's about going on 8 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But, got to give a word from our sponsor. That's here. Here we go. Listen. If your business, if you're starting a business, if you are not familiar with your numbers, if you're not going to know what's going on with your business financially, you have to get the book, Protect Your Profits. Well, I am teaching you how to avoid losing $10,000 or more of your hard-earned money. Do not start a business to go broke, right? Make sure you go ahead, get your copy. The link is in the bio. Had to promote. If you're not promoting yourself, what are you doing as a business owner? Right? Like my own brand that I wear daily. I promote myself daily. Hat, beanie, clothes, daily. If you're not promoting your own self, what are you doing? Especially as a business owner, right? So make sure if you want to really know about cash flow, really want to understand about quarterly estimated payments, understand your P&L, get the book because I teach you all of that. Even got some free forms for you and some videos on how to do it. Copy it. The link is in the description under this video. Yeah, and we good to go from there. Oh, yeah. Zach says challenge accepted. All right. But now there's a challenge involved, going for it. All right, so let's get it happen. Zach, you got to reach out to me, shoot me an email, or leave a comment below. Let me know your email. When I don't do that because then it makes it public. But reach out to me so we can make sure that the proper steps are in place in order for that to happen. Okay. That's private. I ain't putting that out there on YouTube. That's probably just going to be for the community only. But reach out to me, let me know so we can make sure that happens. All right. Yes. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, promoting yourself. Make sure that you do that. Make sure you get a copy of the book. You good. What else? I think that's it for me, fam. Like I said, I'm going to get on out here, head on over to the game, catch the other half of it, and let me leave you with the thought of the day. There it is. Because that is true. The struggle you're in today is developing the strength you need tomorrow. I would take credit for it, but I'm not the one who wrote it. But I do like it. All right, family. So again, I appreciate all of you joining in with me, tuning in with me. I'm going to go ahead, like I said, in this live. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure you at least check out the first episode of Pepsi Where's My Jet. Check it out because to me, that's where the biggest gems are dropped for me. All right. I mean, there were some other gems as you kind of go through it and you'll see how people get things done all the way through. Like I said, 4 episodes, hour each, 4 hours, you're good. But actually, go watch that. Enjoy your weekend. Drop questions if you have to. I'm going to check my DMs because they said they messaged me. We'll get to it. And then we'll go from there. And I will see y'all family next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. And as always, keep your head to the sky. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace. End the stream.